So there we were, flying through the sky in a powered ultralight, 20 feet above a cornfield, and the engine dies. So to give you a little background and context, I grew up in a very rural community in Midwestern Illinois, a farming community. I'm probably the first person in my family to not be a farmer. My dad had decided he was going to buy a powered ultralight so he could scout his crops. Now, we all know that's bullshit. He bought it because he wanted to fly through the sky and live out one of his dreams and have fun, right? In front of our house, we have this big grass field, and that's where we would take off from. And so if you guys don't know, an ultralight, there's several different kinds, but the type that my dad had, it looks like this sketchy two-seater go-kart with like a 6-foot propeller in the back to give it propulsion and a giant parachute that goes up over it to provide lift. Extremely safe. Of course, my mom's thrilled about the fact my dad and I go up in this thing. So one day I had told one of my good friends, Jordan, I said, Jordan, make sure to look outside your house in like half an hour. My dad and I are going to be flying by, and we're going to do some tricks, right? We're going to do some tricks. It's going to be fun. Like, come on, check us out. Make sure to get a video. I didn't say it because back then we didn't have phones with cameras, but we're going and we're doing this trick. We're flying above this field in front of my friend's house, and if you pull down on one side of a parachute, you'll go into a 360 spiral. And so we had done this lots of times. This was nothing new. We're doing this 360 spiral, and about 20 feet above the field, my dad starts to pull up, and the engine dies. Now you can imagine as a 10-year-old boy, the fear that I had when the one person, the man who is the most influential in my life, says to me, "Hold on, son, we're going down." So that's exactly what I did. I held on. Next thing you know, the front tire of the ultralight plants into the ground. The ultralight breaks in half, folds over top, and sandwiches us. I'm laying on top of my dad, and he's saying, he's like, get off, like you gotta get off of me. And I'm like, the first thing that's going through my mind, well, at least my dad's okay. He's talking to me, we're fine. I'm frantically trying to get my seatbelt undone, but I'm still in this state of panic. You know, I'm freaking out. Clearly, we just crashed. I can't get my seatbelt off. Finally, I'm able to wiggle the seatbelt off. I roll off my dad. I roll out of this sandwich, and he's able to get out. We check each other over. Scratches, bruises, everyone's okay. My mom never let me go up in that thing again. And because we all know there was really no real application to needing this thing, it was sold a few months later. Fast forward 15 years, and I take my first accelerated free fall class. For those of you that don't know, that is the class that you take if you want to learn to skydive. Once an idea, an emotion, a thrill gets planted in your head, there's no going back. I have jumped over 80 times now, and it is something that I love that just brings excitement and fulfillment to my life. And every time I'm riding up in that plane, maybe not every time, but lots of times I'm riding up in that plane, I think of this memory, and I remember this, and I remember that first time that I experienced the thrill of what it really is to fly through the sky. And so It's a lot of fun. Y'all should try it.